Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to lose your independence as you grow older? To suddenly find yourself in a place where you no longer have control over your daily life, your choices, or even the smallest details of your routine. It's a thought that crosses the mind of many as they age, moving into a nursing home, relying on others for care, giving up the comfort of your own space. Sounds comforting, right? A place where you'll be taken care of, a place where you can rest and relax without worrying about the little things. But let me tell you something. I'm here to tell you that it's not always what it seems. When I made the decision to move into a nursing home, I thought it would be the best option for me. A safe, secure place where I could enjoy my golden years. But now, looking back, I regret that decision. And I'm not alone. Countless people in their later years make the same choice, only to find themselves trapped in a reality they didn't expect. So today, I'm sharing with you 6 hard truths about nursing homes that you must know before making that decision. These are the things I wish someone had told me before I walked through those doors, and now I'm here to make sure you don't make the same mistake I did. What are those 6 truths? The loss of your independence that comes with every little decision being out of your hands. The loneliness and emotional toll that nobody really prepares you for. The lack of privacy that makes even the smallest personal moments feel like they're being watched. The quality of care varies from place to place, leaving you vulnerable. The physical environment feels more like a hospital than a home. And of course, the huge financial cost that drains your savings and leaves you wondering if it was all worth it. If any of this resonates with you, or if you're simply thinking ahead about your own future, stick with me. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly why I regret moving into a nursing home, and more importantly, you'll have the information you need to make a better decision for your future. So, stay with me until the end and let's uncover these hard truths together. You won't want to miss this. The 6 hard truths. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive into the 6 hard truths about nursing homes that I learned the hard way. Truth number 1. Loss of independence. When I first moved into the nursing home, I thought I would just be taken care of, but what I didn't realize was that it meant giving up control over so many aspects of my life. No more deciding what time to eat, when to go to bed, or how I wanted to spend my day. Think about it for a second. How much does your independence mean to you? For me, it was everything. It wasn't just about doing what I wanted, when I wanted. It was about having the freedom to live my life on my own terms. In a nursing home, you can feel like a child again, with someone else calling the shots for you. I thought I would be surrounded by caring staff, but instead, I found myself waiting for someone to help me with even the simplest tasks, things I used to do on my own. And the more I waited, the more I felt my independence slipping away. So, have you ever felt like you were losing control over your life? Let me know in the comments. It's a feeling we all face as we get older, but there are ways to maintain that independence, and I'll get to that later. Truth number 2. Emotional impact. Now, let me tell you, nursing homes are lonely places, and I don't just mean physically isolated. Sure, you're surrounded by people, but many of them are strangers, and sometimes that loneliness is even worse. I thought I would have plenty of new friends to spend time with, but the reality was very different. When you're not surrounded by family, the emotional toll starts to creep in. Days feel longer, and loneliness can become your constant companion. It affects your mental health and, honestly, your physical health too. Research shows that loneliness increases your risk of everything from depression to heart disease. And that's something I never expected when I first made the move. So, have you experienced loneliness as you've aged? I know many of you have. It's something we don't often talk about, but it's so important to address. If we're not careful, loneliness can quietly erode our well-being. That's why I want to share alternatives later on that can help keep that emotional connection strong. Truth number 3. Loss of privacy. Imagine this. You've lived your entire life in your own space, having your private moments, being able to do whatever you want when you want. Now, think about living in a place where nothing is really yours. A place where you're sharing everything, your room, your meals, your bathroom. The privacy you took for granted is gone. And for me, it wasn't just about not being able to walk around without someone seeing me. It was the fact that you're never truly alone. Your personal moments, even the smallest ones, feel like they're under constant surveillance. It made me feel like I wasn't truly living in my own home. How much does privacy matter to you in your golden years? Maybe it's something you hadn't thought of yet, but it's something worth considering before making any decisions about your future living situation. Truth number 4. Quality of care can vary. Here's where things get tricky. I thought I would be in the best hands. After all, it's a nursing home. It's supposed to be a place where you're cared for, right? But the reality is that the quality of care can vary wildly. Some staff members are wonderful, but others, not so much. And even when the staff is great, the resources they have can be limited. In my case, there were times when I needed assistance, but the staff simply wasn't available. And that's not a unique situation. It's something I hear from so many others. If you don't get the right care, it can leave you feeling vulnerable and neglected. Have you or someone you love had a similar experience with care facilities? It's heartbreaking, but I want to make sure you understand that you have options. No one should feel like they're not getting the care they need, especially in their later years. Truth number 5. The physical environment. This was one of the hardest parts for me. Nursing homes rarely feel like home. Instead, they often feel more like a hospital, sterile, institutional, and frankly uncomfortable. When I first moved in, I thought I could make the space my own, but no matter how many pictures I hung up, or how many little touches I added, it never really felt like mine. The environment in a nursing home often doesn't support your well-being. It's designed to be functional, not comfortable or inviting. And for someone who has lived independently for so many years, this can be incredibly disorienting and unsettling. Have you ever felt uncomfortable or out of place in a setting you were supposed to call home? I know many of you have, and it's something we must all consider when planning our future living arrangements. Truth number 6. Cost and financial impact. Let's talk about the price tag. Nursing homes are expensive. In fact, they are so expensive that many people end up spending through their savings, using up their retirement funds, and sometimes even putting their families at risk financially. I didn't realize just how costly it would be until the bills started piling up. And I wasn't alone. So many of my friends who moved into nursing homes are now struggling financially, not knowing how they'll afford the care they need for the long term. The financial burden of nursing homes is something no one talks about enough. And while there are financial assistance programs, navigating them is complex and often difficult. It can feel overwhelming, and it makes you wonder if the cost is truly worth it. What's your plan for your future care? Have you thought about how you'll cover the costs? If you haven't, it's time to start planning. But don't worry, I'll share more about alternatives that can ease this burden later. So now you know the 6 hard truths that come with moving into a nursing home. I can't sugarcoat it. The loss of independence, the emotional toll, the lack of privacy, inconsistent care, the uncomfortable environment, and the high cost, they're real, and they are things you need to understand before making any decisions. But here's the good news. There are better alternatives. In the next part of this podcast, I'll share exactly what you can do to avoid these pitfalls and ensure your later years are as comfortable, independent, and fulfilling as possible. So don't go anywhere, because we're just getting started. What you can do instead. Now that you've heard the harsh realities of nursing homes, let's shift gears and talk about what you can do instead. I know many of you are probably thinking, okay, but if nursing homes aren't the answer, then what is? Well, don't worry. I've got some alternatives that might work better for you. These options give you the independence and comfort you're looking for, without the compromises I've had to deal with. So let's take a look at 3 viable alternatives that could change the way you think about aging and caregiving. Option number 1, aging in place. One of the best alternatives to moving into a nursing home is aging in place. This means staying in your own home and making the necessary adjustments to ensure it's a safe, comfortable, and accessible environment for you. Now I know what you're thinking, but Emily, can I really stay in my own home as I get older? The answer is yes, absolutely. With a few key modifications, you can stay in your own space and maintain your independence. There are companies that specialize in home modifications for seniors, like adding grab bars in the bathroom, installing ramps, or making staircases safer. You can even install a stair lift if needed. But it's not just about physical modifications, it's about maintaining your lifestyle. With the right support, you can have caregivers come to your home for assistance, or you can use home health technology to stay connected and monitor your health. Virtual doctor visits, telehealth services, and health monitoring devices like fall detectors or emergency buttons are also amazing tools to help you stay independent without leaving your home. Have you considered aging in place? Think about it. Wouldn't it be nice to stay in the place that holds so many memories and feels like home? If that sounds appealing, start by evaluating what changes you might need to make your home a safer place. Option number 2, assisted living. Another option is assisted living. Now, this might sound like a nursing home at first glance, but trust me, it's different. Assisted living communities are designed to offer a balance between independence and support. Unlike nursing homes, assisted living facilities don't treat you like you're incapable. Instead, they provide the assistance you need when you need it, whether it's help with bathing, medication management, or meal preparation. But the best part? These places often have a much more home-like environment. You get your own private apartment, and you can decorate it however you like. There are common areas for socializing, and you have a lot more freedom to come and go as you please. Many of these communities also offer activities and social events, so you're not stuck alone in your room like in a nursing home. Assisted living offers a level of care that is much more flexible and personalized, giving you the option to stay as independent as possible while still having help available when you need it. Have you looked into assisted living facilities in your area? Take a moment to research your local options. A lot of people find this to be a wonderful middle ground, where they can live comfortably and receive care when necessary. Option number 3, home care and family support. If you're looking for something even more flexible, home care services might be the perfect solution. With home care, you can hire a caregiver to come to your home and provide help with daily activities like bathing, dressing, or cooking. This can be a huge relief, especially if you only need part-time assistance but want to maintain your independence. Home care also allows you to build a strong relationship with your caregiver, which can be a lot more personal and meaningful than the care you'd receive in a facility. Plus, with family support, you can arrange for someone you trust to be there with you, whether it's a spouse, child, or close friend. Having someone familiar nearby can make all the difference emotionally. In addition, there are different types of home care: non-medical care, like help with housekeeping or running errands, and skilled medical care for more complex needs. You can choose the level of care that fits your situation, ensuring that you're not paying for services you don't need. What's your ideal support system as you age? Whether it's family, a caregiver, or a combination of both, think about the people you trust and how you can make sure they're there when you need them. Take action now to start building your network of support, and you'll feel much more confident about your future. How to choose what's best for you. Now, you might be asking yourself, which option is right for me? The truth is, it depends on your needs, your finances, and your personal preferences. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, but by understanding these alternatives, you're already ahead of the game. Here's a simple checklist to help guide your decision-making. Do you want to stay in your home as long as possible? If so, aging in place with home modifications and help from caregivers might be the best choice. Do you want more social opportunities and a sense of community? If that sounds appealing, assisted living might be your best bet. Do you need occasional help but still want to live independently at home? Home care services might be the perfect solution for you. Remember, it's not about one being better than the other. It's about what fits your lifestyle, your health, and your desires. I know that making decisions about the future isn't easy, but you have the power to choose what's right for you. Don't wait until you're in a crisis to start thinking about your options. Take action today and start planning for a future that lets you stay independent and comfortable. So what's your plan for the future? Have you thought about any of these alternatives for your own care as you get older? Share your thoughts with me. I'd love to hear how you're thinking about aging and what choices you're considering for your own journey. In the next part of this podcast, we'll wrap things up and talk about how to take action now and make sure your future is everything you want it to be. Stay with me, we're almost there. Now that we've covered the harsh truths and the alternatives to nursing homes, it's time to wrap this up and help you take action. Here's what I want you to remember. Losing your independence is one of the hardest truths about nursing homes. But there are ways to maintain your autonomy while still getting the help you need. Emotional tolls like loneliness can take a heavy toll on your well-being. But there are alternatives like aging in place or assisted living that offer stronger community connections and emotional support. Privacy is a huge concern as you get older, and you should never have to give that up. Your personal moments and space matter. Quality of care can vary greatly. No one should feel neglected or unseen, but there are better options than relying solely on nursing homes. The physical environment of nursing homes can feel like a hospital rather than a home. Think about where you'd feel most comfortable and at ease as you age. Costs can be overwhelming, but with proper planning and understanding of your options, you can avoid draining your savings and find a solution that works for your financial situation. As I've shared with you today, there are better ways to age with grace, dignity, and independence. Whether you choose to stay in your own home, explore assisted living, or use home care services, it's important to make that decision before the need becomes urgent. Don't wait until you're in a crisis to think about your future. So here's my challenge to you. Take a moment today to reflect on your future. Start considering what's truly important to you. Whether it's maintaining your independence, having a strong support system, or simply having the comfort of being in your own space, you have the power to make choices now that will ensure your future is in your hands. What's the next step for you? Will you begin exploring home modifications for aging in place? Or maybe it's time to look into assisted living options nearby. Whatever it is, don't wait until it's too late. Start taking small steps toward the future you want today. I'd love to hear from you. What alternatives have you considered, or what concerns do you still have about aging? Drop your thoughts in the comments or share this episode with someone who might need to hear it. The more we talk about these issues, the more empowered we all become. And before I let you go, if you found this episode helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on staying strong, healthy, and independent as you age. Remember, the best time to start planning for your future is now, because your independence, comfort, and peace of mind are worth it. Stay active, stay strong, and take charge of your future. I'll see you next time.